So let's get right into it. If you think building an AI application is just another software project, you're in for a surprise. The old playbook, the one we've relied on for decades to build software, it pretty much gets thrown out the window when AI enters the picture. Today, we're going to walk through the new blueprint, the AI-Specific Software Development Lifecycle. It's a totally different way of thinking about how we build intelligent systems. Here's the game plan. First, we'll dig into why the old methods just don't cut it. Then, we'll talk about the absolute foundation of all AI, data. After that, we'll see how the AI brain actually gets built. Next, we'll tackle the real-world challenges of getting AI out of the lab. And finally, we'll hit the most important part, this idea of a never-ending loop of improvement that truly defines AI. Okay, so what's the fundamental problem here? Well, the best way to think about it is like this. Traditional software is like building a bridge. You've got a precise blueprint, you follow the steps, and what you get is a static, totally predictable structure. AI, though, that's way more like raising a living organism. You can guide it, you can nurture it, but you can never fully predict how it's going to grow, learn, and behave on its own. Now, this probably looks super familiar to anyone who's ever worked in tech. It's the traditional software development lifecycle, the SDLC. It's a nice, clean, step-by-step process. You plan, design, code, test for bugs, ship it out, and then you maintain it. It's logical, it's sequential, and for years it worked perfectly. But here's where things collide. That old process was designed for what we call deterministic systems. You put something in, you get the exact same thing out every single time because it's all based on hard-coded rules. AI is probabilistic. It's all about learning from patterns in data and making educated guesses. So the bottom line is, you just can't use a rigid, rule-based process to build something that doesn't follow rules itself. It's a total mismatch. And that brings us to where every single AI project really begins. See, with traditional software, you start with requirements. You start thinking about code. In the AI world, everything, and I mean everything, is born from data. It's the soil that the entire system grows out of. You know, the very first question isn't, how do we build this? It's, can we even build this? It's entirely possible that an AI solution just isn't feasible. The team's first job is to figure out if they have the right kind, quality, and amount of data to even try solving the problem. This is also where you define what success even looks like and start worrying about huge risks, like data bias, right from day one. Okay, if you remember one number from this whole explainer, make it this one, 80%. That is roughly how much time and effort in a typical AI project is spent just on preparing the data. Not building models, not writing code, just wrestling with the data to get it ready. So why on earth does it take so long? Well, because it's a messy, complicated job. You're removing duplicates, fixing missing information, turning text into numbers a model can actually understand. That's tokenization. And pulling out the most important signals from all that noise, which we call feature extraction. This is the perfect illustration of garbage in, garbage out. The quality of your AI is completely dependent on how well you do this work. All right, so once our data is finally clean, we can move on to actually creating the intelligence. In AI, development isn't about writing thousands of lines of code from a blank page. It's more about selecting an existing architecture and then training it on that data you worked so hard to prepare. Now, this is where you hit a really interesting fork in the road. For classic machine learning, you might pick something like a random forest model. But with all the new generative AI, you're usually starting with a massive pre-trained foundation model, like a llama or a GPT model, and then figuring out how to specialize it for your task. It's like you're a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble, not a bricklayer building from the ground up. And let me tell you, the training process itself is a beast. This is nothing like hitting a compile button. It is a long series of incredibly expensive, power-hungry experiments. You're constantly tweaking all these little settings, called hyperparameters, and running tests over and over, all of which burns through a ton of computing power and can get very, very expensive fast. So you've trained a model. It's looking great in the lab. Awesome. Now for the really hard part, getting it ready for the total chaos of the real world. This is where testing and deployment becomes so much more complicated than anything in traditional software. Just look at all the different ways we have to measure these things. It's not just about simple right or wrong accuracy anymore. For language models, you've got metrics like Rouge and Blue that try to measure the quality of the text it writes. You have to track its hallucination rate, basically how often it just makes stuff up. And with any Gen AI app, you're constantly watching its speed and, a big one, how much each and every query costs to run. And here is the absolute kicker. A model can ace every single one of those tests, get perfect scores across the board, and still behave in completely bizarre, unpredictable ways the second it hits real-world data it's never seen before. Those test scores, they are not a guarantee of good behavior. So to deal with all this unpredictability, there's a whole new layer of engineering that simply doesn't exist in the old software world. This is the machinery that tries to keep the AI grounded in facts, often using a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. It involves things like managing special databases, optimizing how the AI finds information, and building safety guardrails to keep its behavior in check.
This brings us to the final, and maybe the most mind-bending difference in the entire AI lifecycle. With regular software, you deploy it, and you're pretty much done until the next big update. With AI, deployment isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a continuous, never-ending loop.
The main reason for this is a concept called model drift. Think about it. The world is always changing. There are new trends, new slang, new events. The data your model sees out in the wild starts to look different from the data it was trained on. And as that gap gets wider and wider, your model's performance just naturally gets worse. It goes stale. And because of that drift, you have to monitor an AI system all the time. You're not just watching for crashes. You're looking for these slow, subtle signs of decay. Is it hallucinating more often? Is it getting slower? Is it costing more to run? Are users' prompts starting to fail for no reason? It's like your AI needs a constant health checkup to stay effective. But all that monitoring isn't just for watching. It feeds directly back into a retraining cycle. You collect all that new, fresh, real-world data, you use it to retrain and update your model, you test the heck out of the new version, and then you deploy the improved model back into production. And then, the whole loop starts right back up again. So here it is, the ultimate takeaway. Traditional software is built once, and then you maintain it with code updates. An AI system is a living thing. It's built, yes, but then it has to be constantly monitored, refined with new data, retrained, and redeployed over and over and over again, forever.